Hey, we are back for another video.
I would like to get to know if you could be the kind of girl that you could get down for. 'Cause when I look at you, I feel something tell me.
Thank you so much for joining me. As you know, I guess this means that you like what I have to say. So we are going to keep it going. Today, I am talking about removing distractions and officially locking in for the rest of the year so that you can get a jump start on your 2026 goals and all of those things that you have been putting off or procrastinating on, you finally take the initiative to make it happen. Now, for me, this summer, I was outside. I was on go. I was at brunches, rooftop bars, concerts, everywhere. I was just outside. And I won't lie, it started late April, and by Labor Day weekend, I was tired. I was like, I don't have it in me. So this month of September has definitely been a little more chill, but still going out every now and then. And now I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, if it's not to the gym, a workout class, or for a substantial reason, or even a birthdays, because I do have a few friends whose birthdays is the rest of this year. I'm like, I would just rather be inside. And the reason why I have to really focus is because I've noticed the years are going by so fast. Like 10 years ago to me still feels like 2010. No, it was 2015. Like it doesn't feel like 2020 was 5 years ago. So my motto is that a year goes by in 6 months. So if there's things that you want to work on and it takes a good amount of planning and strategizing, you have to really be on it. And for me, that's pretty much how I have to do things these days. Like I really have to sit in, focus, zone in on it. I can't really just kind of think like, oh, okay, you know what, I'm going to do that, and then kind of just put it to the back of my head and revisit it 6 months later, and then voila, it's there. Like, no, I have to be really strategic in how I'm setting myself up to accomplish these things. So, if you are online, then I know you've been hearing all about the great lock in of 2025. That is pretty much where at the end of summer, everyone kind of locked in on what it is that they need to accomplish so that they can start the year off right. I'm participating in it, but I'm not really calling it the great lock in. Haven't really had a name for it, but I just know that there's things that I have to do. Simple as that. And I do think it's important to really be diligent in your planning and strategizing, because time can go by so fast and you don't even realize it. You'll say, you know what, I'll get to it next week. I'll get to it next week. And then weeks turn into months, and before you know it, you are looking at this beautiful vision board or this, list of things, and you're like, I maybe only achieved 10% of this. Like, how? And you know what? You are going to have times where you're not going to get to everything, but you're going to be able to look and say, I could have did a lot more. So you definitely have to be strategic with, the planning. So one of the main reasons why I realized that I had to kind of cut back on my social life, put it on the back burner, and focus on some other professional goals that I have is I was burnt out. And I'm probably still a little bit in burnout mode when it comes to like going out. And I think it's because during my weight loss journey that started last summer, I did not have a social life. I maybe went out once a month. It was just me, the gym, the garage where I did some of my workouts, and I was in the house. I didn't really do anything because that was my main focus. And come this summer, when it's like, oh, okay, I'm 60 pounds down, I'm loving the way I'm looking, the energy's there. My birthday's in May. I'm a May baby. So for me, my birthday kind of kicks off summertime. So I was just like, yes, let's go out, let's be seen, let's have fun. But I was just burnt out. So I'm also learning that while I can definitely go out and have fun, I can't do it as much as I did in my 20s, or even early 30s, like here and there, sporadic. That works for me. And then I'm also working on trying to find hobbies and things that doesn't really revolve around me being out super late at night, excessive drinking. I love a good wine tasting. I love a good cocktail with my dinner. I won't, lie about that. But something where it's like I'm doing that 2 to 3 times every week, no, no. It's not really good for like my productivity, not really good for my mental health. And honestly, it's not even good for me in terms of like maintaining my weight loss. And even though by number, I have achieved my goal, but there is still some things that I'm working towards, as such as, a little more toning, leaning out. So I still have a diet and a nutrition regimen that I need to follow. So going going out all the time, being out late at night, that's not really conducive to me on several levels. I've also been learning with me having to really focus on certain goals that I want to achieve. And I'll get into what some of those goals are in just a little bit. I also have to be mindful that not everyone is on the same journey as me. So they're moving differently. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like if my goal is, hey, I want to save money, so I'm not really going out to certain places. I might have friends that are like, that's not their goal, that's not their priority. So therefore, we might not hang out as much, or the type of activities we do may look a little different. It's just being mindful of when you are on your journey and whatever that looks like, you have to keep you have to remember that you are on this journey for you. You have to have strength in being like, hey, I can't come to that party. Hey, I can't do that. I'm going this way, even if other people are going that way. Some of the things I'm working on now, I don't want to have to be revisiting this 2 years from now, starting over from scratch. Perfect example, this YouTube channel. Had I would have just stayed consistent in 2020 to now, who knows where my page would be? Who knows like what other things or opportunities would have came? So, but I'm here now. We don't cry over spilled milk. But that's just one of the areas of where I'm at in life right now. Like I'm tired of stopping and starting, stopping and starting. So being consistent for me requires an extra set of rules that I have to follow that might not always be fun. I intended to actually film this video sooner, but earlier this month, in case you're just watching, today's date of this video is September 25th. Back in February, I had signed up for my first ever 10K. 10K race is 6.2 miles. I had never ran before. I was kind of just in a mode of like, you know what? I want to do something that really symbolizes that I am in a new journey as far as my body, my fitness, the things that I want to try. And so I was like, let me just do a 10K. And at first I was like, maybe a 5K. But then I was like, you know what? I do neighborhood walks pretty regularly in my neighborhood. I do about 3 to 4 miles. So I'm like, you know what? 6.2 miles, that's not too bad. Now I will say, first off, I finished the race. I did. Yay. um, I about 40% of that race I did walk. But I don't feel bad about that because I realized I never stopped. Even when I was walking, I never stopped. And that was a huge accomplishment for me. So my official race time was 1 hour, 33 minutes. So I definitely want to do another one, and I'm aiming for a goal of at least an hour 5, hour and 10, just so that I can show that like, okay, there was improvement. And if it comes back next year, I actually really want to do the Nike After Dark half marathon. That's 13 miles, so it's like, oh, okay. I'll be honest, I don't ever see myself doing an actual marathon. That's a little too rich for my blood. So, but I did really enjoy that process, and it felt so good for me to make that goal back in February. And even though I didn't train as much as I should have, that I still went out there and finished it. And as far as time, I don't really care, but I feel like I did good. I'm not even going to try to minimize it. I feel really good with what I did, with the amount of training that I had. And so I also know that, should I start training more, you know, 2 to 3 times a week regularly, I know that I will be just as good, better, if you will. So I feel great about that. So that was one of the things to me this year where it's like, wow, you set your mind to it and you did it. Even like the day before, because I went to a friend's engagement party in San Diego, 3 hour drive. I was like, man, I am I even gonna make it to the run the next morning? Yes. Woke up at 5 a.m., was dressed, and I made it. I did it. So that was just for me, that was like that extra mental push of like, no, when you say you really want to do something, you're gonna do it. So I felt really, really proud. So for me, one of the things that I'm working on, I actually did it this year. I love planning events. That is my passion. That's my love. Planning events is the thing. Like, if I never ever got paid for doing it, I would still love to do it in some format, whether it's, just planning friends' birthdays, whether it's hosting dinner parties. That is me. That's what I love. So I actually planned my first two events, one in July and another Labor Day weekend. Um, it was R&B and rosé. It was a very, very pretty, sophisticated day party. Had food, open bar, a really beautiful floral ambiance, and I was just like, wow, okay, I did it. People showed up. My the business's Instagram page, it grew, and I'm just like, wow. Something that I started from scratch, and I started it at the end of last year, and that's when I actually held my first event, and it went really great. At the beginning of this year, if you are familiar or heard about it, California, we experienced a surge of wildfires. And so I had a vision board party that was actually planned. However, it was the same week as like when the fires broke out. And so I just didn't feel right hosting any type of event while all of that was going on. So I canceled it. And even though that was a, extreme situation that I had no control over, I kind of talked myself out of it and was like, I feel like that is the universe telling me that I shouldn't do events. I don't know. I just know. And so I didn't plan anything all year. And I kind of was just like, maybe I'll just forget about it. But the thing is, and I feel like some of you can definitely relate to this, when there is something in your heart, no matter what you try to focus on as an alternative, no matter what you try to do, that feeling is still there as, you should try it. You should do it. And so that's how it was with events. It was just like, don't give up. You should do it. You should do it. And so I did it. And it went really, really well. I had friends who like showed up and helped me set up. I had friends drive up from San Diego to LA, which, if you know, that's a drive. I had a friend from the Bay Area. She came down. She flew in and helped me. Um, it was just a really, really great experience. And I actually learned a lot. And I'm also learning that while the event was really great, obviously they weren't perfect, but with each event that I had did, the first to the second one, I learned so much. I was able to change so much. I was able to implement things, and just seeing how much smoother the second one went, that also kind of taught me that sometimes with some stuff, you just have to do it. You can't, there's only so much, research, there's only so much watching other people's videos, there's only so much you can do to where it's like you just have to do it. Even with me relaunching my channel. I almost didn't film today because it was like, oh man, I haven't been able to get my eyebrows done. Now, of course, you want to look good on camera. Everyone does. So that's a real feeling if you feel like, oh, I don't really feel my best. But I knew that like today was going to be the only day that I was probably going to have for the next couple of days to actually film content. So it was like, you have to do it just to stay on my deadline. So as I say this to you, I'm saying this to myself, but sometimes we have to stop trying to chase perfection and just focus on good quality and doing your best. It's going to get better. Your filming's going to get better. That project or anything that you're working on, it's going to get better. The other, I would also even say, is just this channel. I've kind of told myself I want to create at least 2 to 3 videos a week. I want to have enough content to where my audience is really getting to know me. I'm showing the consistency and I'm growing my YouTube presence. Again, uh that is timing, that's preparation, that's obviously the editing is a whole second aspect of creating these videos. So I have some things going on that are in the fire that really requires me to be I have to be diligent with my time. I have to make sure that I'm making time count. That's really what it is. And then I'm doing all of this while balancing a 9 to 5 with my healthcare career. So it's like, yeah. So I'm thinking of going back to school right now. I want to get an MBA.